Hey guys, welcome back to Reddit Chronicles. If you're new here, do consider subscribing to help me out, I really appreciate it. Today we're gonna try something new, r/relationships. Here's a subreddit where people go to air their relationship problems and seek advice. We're gonna kick it off with two of the shorter stories. First is a husband and his mother lying to his wife about their newborn son. Then a guy's best friend asks him out, but he doesn't know that it's a date. This all went down an hour ago, and my wife is still crying in our bathroom with the door locked. Backstory, we had her son, now 11 months old, while my wife is in residency. She took a few weeks off before giving birth and then went back to work a few months later, while I transitioned my hours to part-time so that I could stay at home and raise our son. My mom moved in with us shortly after birth in order to help out, which allows me to get in the few hours of work per day and also not get swamped with taking care of the baby/housework. She's quite old-fashioned and would definitely not prefer this arrangement with me being a stay-at-home dad, but she hasn't said anything to either of us and has been a great help. For anyone unfamiliar with medical residency, it is brutal. My wife has just over a year left. Sometimes she comes and goes for about 1 to 3 days and our son is asleep the whole time she's home, which has been happening more as his sleep schedule shifted to sleeping through the night. My mom and I make sure that when she's home and the baby is awake, my wife gets him 100%. I know it's been hard on her, but unfortunately, it's just going to be this way for another year. The first big milestone she missed was him rolling over. When she got home, my mom pulled her over to the baby, all excited. I thought she was going to tell her, but instead says, "Julie, you came home right on time. He's been moving about as if he's going to roll over." They both stood there encouraging him, and right on cue, he rolls. My wife was elated. She was so worried and guilty about not being there, and she took it as proof that she can still be a present mother while working. So we continued. I send texts over little things she misses through the day so it's not completely unbelievable, but my wife has been present for every big milestone. Our son coincidentally started crawling with her right there. His first words were in front of her, and he began standing, cruising, and walking when she happened to be home. The walking one was difficult. There was a tough 7-day stretch where she just wasn't home during the daytime when he was awake. And his walking went from teetering to walking a couple of steps pretty confidently in that time. We put little bean bags in one of his pants pockets, so he'd be wobbly and unbalanced, and it looked believable since he fell after the first step like he was doing a week ago. Yes, it was mean to our poor son, but my wife's face was worth it. Today, it all unraveled. So far, he can just say Mama, Dada, and Nana. Yesterday, he started saying bye-bye. My wife has today off and has been home all morning. My mom and I have been trying to get him to say bye all day without giving it away that we already know he can say bye. Successfully got him to say bye to the ducks at the park, and we both gushed over his newest word the whole way home. My wife was using my phone to take pictures of him and began showing my mom at home while telling her about his newest word acquisition. She was sweeping through my gallery and saw a video from yesterday and goes, "Oh, you never sent me this one." It was literally like a slow motion film happening in front of my eyes. I had taken the video of him yesterday waving bye-bye. My wife isn't an idiot. She figured the whole ruse out pretty much instantly. I've never seen her look so upset and heartbroken before. I couldn't say or do anything to comfort her. Now she's locked herself in the bathroom crying and won't come out. I'm on our bed hoping someone can please tell me what to do to make this better. TLDR, my mom and I lied to my wife about our son's milestones for months, and she just found out. Update. Don't think anyone would particularly care about an update, but I appreciated all the insight anyways, so here's an update. After I wrote the original post, my mom took my son to stay overnight with my wife's sister so that the two of us could have the house to ourselves. We pretty much just talked for about an hour while constantly reaffirming that we love each other a lot and want to sort this out. I apologized and explained why I did what I did. She said that feeling like she was there for our son's milestones was really just a band-aid solution that didn't really convince her she was present. She said that if she actually had been using the milestones to feel like she was present, this probably would have felt worse for her. But since she wasn't, in her own words, deluding herself into thinking she's actually home, her main issue was that I lied, which hurt her feelings. I apologized and explained that I honestly thought that she would prefer the lying if given the choice. She said she understood where I was coming from and that she felt betrayed when she realized, but she sees that I was doing it because I love her, and she thinks we'll probably laugh about it with our grandkids one day. Yes, I'm well aware, I don't deserve my wife. Some things came out on my end that I wasn't going to tell her and didn't mention in my last post, namely that I'm scared she's going to become suicidal. My uncle committed suicide when I was a child, in part from working in a high-stress job where he made a huge and costly mistake. One of my wife's colleagues attempted suicide while she was on mat leave. Being a working mom is bad enough, being a resident in this program is bad enough. Both combined are a recipe for trouble. Since our son was born and the incident with her colleague happened, I've been afraid that if her home life wasn't perfect, it would push her over the edge. Anyways, she assured me that that's not happening, and I think saying it out loud made me realize it's a pretty irrational, groundless fear. We ordered takeout and sat together watching the real videos I have of all our son's firsts. I also have a special folder of videos/pictures of my son and my wife, so we went through that after. She almost choked from laughing so hard when I tentatively revealed the beanbag trick. I'm the laughingstock of her friend group chat, so I guess we're already at the stage where we're laughing about it. Thank you for those who responded to the last post. The stereotype of someone in r/relationships advocating divorce every time something happens is true. TLDR, marriage is work. I am stupid. We moved past it. I'm guessing some of you are a bit relieved, and others may be a bit disappointed. You know, given the title of the post and all. I'm just glad it turned out well, because sometimes some of these posts don't. Anyway, on to the next one. I'm an idiot. I'll try to keep this short. Also, I was a bit drunk when this happened. Noah and I have been best friends since 2nd grade. We lived together with one other friend, near the college we go to together. He came out to me when we were in high school. Didn't change anything. When we got to college, I came out as bi. Last night when we were hanging out with some friends, and I had a bit to drink. When we went walking home, I could tell he was nervous, so I asked what was up. He asked if I wanted to go out with him. He literally said, "Do you want to go out with me?" I don't know why, but I thought he meant as friends. Thinking back, he made it really obvious it was a date, but I was an idiot, and I still am a bit drunk. I said yes. He suggested Saturday night. I said yes. I left to go to the gym before he got up, so I didn't see him. While I was at the gym, the friend we live with texted me that Noah was really happy this morning, and she didn't know we were going out on a date. She congratulated me and said we would make a cute couple. This happened literally 6 minutes ago. I'm panicking right now. I don't know what to do. I love him, but he's like my brother. I can't go out with him. How can I tell him I'm not interested without embarrassing him more than I have to? I don't want to mess up our relationship. We're supposed to have lunch together in a few hours. What do I do? TLDR, I'm an idiot. My best friend asked me out. I said yes. I didn't know it was a date. How do I fix this as easily as possible for him? Update. I texted Noah and asked if we could skip lunch and go home instead so we could talk. I tried not to make the conversation dramatic. I apologized to him for misunderstanding him and told him I knew it must have taken a lot of courage for him to ask me out. I told him that he was my best friend, I loved him, and that would never change, but I had never thought about a romantic relationship with him. I apologized for effing up and getting his hopes up. He asked me a few questions like did I really not know he meant it as a date? He apologized for effing things up between us, and I told him I wasn't comfortable with him feeling that way about me. I told him that I understood if he wanted space to process it, and I would give it to him if he wanted, but I also told him how important he is to me and how much I love him. He said he didn't think he wanted space, he just wanted to try and move on with the secret out. We've always been totally open with each other, well, except for him liking me, I guess, and he said he was happy he wasn't keeping his feelings a secret anymore. We had a cheesy moment where I told him he could always talk to me about anything. It was straight out of a rom-com. We talked for a long time after that. Apparently he's had a crush on me since we came out in high school, and after he had a few drinks last night, he decided, F it, why not try? I don't feel weird knowing about his crush, and he doesn't seem to feel hurt or anything because of my F-up. Maybe just a little sad. I'll definitely keep an eye on how we interact and how he acts for a while. A few people warned me against accidentally flirting with him, and I'll try to keep anything like that in check. I guess this is a happy ending. I know there are still things to be aware of, but right now it looks like the conversation went pretty well. Thanks everyone for commenting and supporting. It helped me not just with the advice, but also with calming me down when I was really panicky this morning. Update 2. I gave a bit of an update as an edit to the original post, but now that it's been 3 months since, I thought I'd give you all an update about how things have been going since then, since it seems like there's been a lot of interest, and I'm still really thankful to all of you for helping me out. Noah's doing really well. I could tell he was still a bit embarrassed for the first couple of weeks, but after that he told me again that he was still happy he asked me, because now he knew how I felt, and he could get over it. He also thanked me for taking it so well, which is definitely thanks to what a lot of you said, so I guess I'm sort of passing his thanks on to you. One of the commenters said I should be careful not to do anything that seemed like flirting with him, so I tried to keep that in check. We used to hug a lot, sit really close together, and tell each other flirty jokes, you get the idea, but I toned those all down a lot to give him space and not mess with his feelings. I honestly think I see now why he thought I might be into him, because my relationship with him was very affectionate. It's been a lesson for me on how to be more aware of how other people are interpreting my signals. After a month, he asked me out. He asked me if I wanted to go to a gay bar with him. He made it super clear that it wasn't a date, but he did it in a really sarcastic way, which was a little embarrassing for me. But also I think it was good that he could joke about it. So we went to the local gay bar together and we had a really good time. He's a bit introverted, so I played the wingman, and he ended up flirting with this really cute guy, and he just seemed really happy. That was like 2 months ago, and we've gone to the same bar a couple more times since then. He's been getting a bit more comfortable putting himself out there, which is really cool to see, and he's just been more open and happy for the last 2 months. Not sure how it's related, but it's a noticeable change from before he asked me out. I'm doing great too. I'm just really happy that I didn't hurt our relationship and that he's happy. I also learned some important things from this whole situation about communication and being aware of how I present myself. Important lessons. I actually think I feel more confident now too, since he asked me out. Getting asked out feels good, man. It sounds kind of weird, but I think it made us closer. We've started talking about relationships more, which isn't something we really talked about before. He's gone on a few dates and he tells me about them. And the most recent guy he went out with, he was really excited about, and I think he might be headed for his first serious relationship, which is amazing. That's actually what made me think of this post and decide to give you all an update. TLDR, so yeah, our relationship wasn't ruined and I still have my best friend. He's doing really well and I love seeing him so happy. Thanks again for all the help. So I guess the lesson here is, if you have a best friend and they're gay or lesbian and they ask you out, be sure you understand what they mean. And if something unintended ever happens in any relationship, make sure you talk to each other. Because if you're two well-intentioned people, 95% of your problems are going to be caused by miscommunication. So communication is key. So that's r/relationships. I tried to pick stories with fairly happy endings that weren't too emotional. Now, what would you do if one of your friends suddenly asked you out and you think it might be a date? If you guys like this video, do remember to like it. And if you want more content just like this, help me out by subscribing. See you in the next video for another episode of Reddit Chronicles.